Welcome to the news. Presented, my name is Jessie Kalambo. The headlines. Self-confessed thieves of fuel proceeds, PF demands a barley, justifies 11 kwacha increment. Berman Lesamba describes a justification on fuel price hike by New Dawn as nonsensical. Teachers get ready. Government unveils the roadmap for the recruitment of teachers. Medical expert testifies in UPND's facial defilement case. And other news in detail. Self-confessed thieves on fuel of about 3 kwacha. The Patriotic Front PF have insisted that President Hakainde Hichilema should tell Zambians who he is stealing the 11 kwacha on the price of petroleum products. This follows a Thursday's petroleum upward adjustment of about 4 kwacha, placing the price of products such as petrol and diesel at 26 kwacha. Acting PF President Given Lubinda, who has consistently admitted that during their time they at least stole 3 kwacha from the price of fuel, insists the New Dawn administration should justify the recent increments by 11 kwacha. And Mr. Lubinda has condemned the haphazard manner which members of his party are being dragged to court on unjustifiable reasons. He has called for speedy dispensation of cases for any citizen regardless of their political affiliation. He also claims the party is only on leave and that it will return power in the 2026 general election. Meanwhile, PF Chairperson for Information and Publicity, Raphael Nakachinda, says Zambians are ready, responding to the realization that the leadership of the Patriotic Front PF is second to none compared to that of the UPND. He says the former ruling party has radical commitment in defending democracy to ensure the principle of separation of powers is enhanced. Mr. Nakachinda assured the general membership of the party has remained resilient, committed, and resolute in defense of democracy. The duo was speaking at the magistrate court grounds shortly after an adjustment of a case in which Mr. Nakachinda is facing a charge of defaming President Hakainde Hichilema.
Lieutenants, myself and many others will remain strong, resilient, committed to make sure that the party doesn't go down, but also that our democracy does not die at all. I think the Zambian people are beginning to respond and realize that the leadership of Patriotic Front is second to none in comparison to our friends that have taken over.
For members of the Patriotic Front, I want to say, as your Vice President, you always drive me. My blood always boils when I see the kind of solidarity you're giving to me. This shows that the Patriotic Front is only on leave. There's no question about it. We are on leave. Come 2026, this Patriotic Front shall certainly come down. There's no doubt about it. I have no doubt in my mind that with this kind of solidarity you're giving to each other, with the kind of mobilization you're going around with, certainly in 2026 we're bound to form government again. I'd like to ask you to continue to mobilize. I've read lots of social media postings of people saying they're regrouping. Exactly, that's exactly what we should do. As a matter of fact, to even say we're regrouping is not correct. What we're doing is building. We're building ourselves to become the only alternative in this country. And there is no question about it. Look at how all the promises have been broken. All of them. I said once, please, if indeed we store 3 kwacha on a price of fuel of 15 kwacha, now that the price of fuel is 26 kwacha today, can you tell me who is stealing the 11 kwacha? Tell us who is stealing the 11 kwacha now that the price of fuel is 26 kwacha. And by the way, if you look at the international price of fuel today, there is no justification whatsoever for the fuel in Zambia to cost 26 kwacha. There is no justification because the international fuel price is only $110 per barrel. And if you translate that to kwacha, you will see that the liter of fuel in Zambia should be no more than 17 kwacha. Why is it 26 kwacha? Who's getting the extra money? They told us they'll reduce the number of middlemen. Have they done it? Instead, they've even closed in Delhi, which was supposed to be getting cheaper crude oil to come.
United Party for National Development UPND Lusaka District Information and Publicity Secretary Matomola Likwanya has justified the recent upward adjustment of fuel pump prices. Mr. Likwanya says this is as a result as all countries are feeling its effects. However, Kavushi Member of Parliament Bowman Lusambo has rubbished the excuse of the Russia-Ukraine war on the increment of fuel pump price.
United Party for National Development UPND Lusaka District Information and Publicity Secretary Matomola Likwanya has justified the recent upward adjustment of fuel pump prices. On Thursday, 31st March 2022, government through the Energy Regulation Board announced an upward adjustment of the fuel pump price for the month of April. Petrol has been increased by 4 kwacha 50 ngwe, diesel by 4 kwacha 68 ngwe, and kerosene by 3 kwacha and 93 ngwe. Mr. Likwanya says this is as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war, as all countries are feeling its effects.
As UPND, we wish to update the nation and to inform members of the general public that the increase in fuel prices that we have seen, it is a well-known fact that it is as a result of the war that is happening in Russia and in Ukraine. And a number of countries are affected by it. And we want to assure you, the Zambian people, that President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND government are committed to finding a long-lasting solution to this fuel crisis.
However, Kabushi Member of Parliament Bowman Lusambo has rubbished the excuse of the Russia-Ukraine war on the increment of fuel pump prices. He says the increment is as a result of the failure by government to run the country in a stable manner.
That is an excuse, and it's a lame excuse. You remember when we talked about global warming in our country? We talked about climate change. Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND, they started laughing at us. No, we have just failed. There's nothing like that. There's no climate change. There's no global warming. It's just all excuse. They even went further to condemn us on COVID-19, if you recall very well. How can we agree today that all these increments which we are seeing in fuel, it's because of Russia-Ukraine conflict? It is not there. It is not there. Let them just do the right thing. If it is Russia-Ukraine conflict, why is it that in America fuel is going down? Why is it that in America fuel is going down? He has just failed to govern this country. He had no plan. Even his ministers, all those ministers you see in UPND, they are just dunderheads because they have failed to advise their president. Going forward, we have no option. We have not only 2 suggestions. One is the president to resign because he has failed the people of Zambia. And when you fail, you have failed. You can't do anything about it. You have failed. And President Hakainde Hichilema, he has failed. Because first failure for President Hakainde Hichilema is failing to move from community house to state house.
For government, on the other hand, the increment of pump prices is inevitable as it is a global issue. Speaking during the Vice President's question and answer session Friday morning, Mrs. Mutalena Lumango says the best that Zambians can do is brace themselves for the impact.
Right now, do you know, you talk to the oil marketing, there is no tax. We are not taxing that. What is pushing the fuel now? It is not Zambia. It is worldwide. I don't want it to sound like the other global. This is a real issue. I will give you, for example, what is a pound to a kwacha today? That is what we look at. Whether we buy, those who buy fuel buy it in $1. They don't buy in kwacha.
Virginia Chilongo, Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
New fuel prices have started to sink in, with some motorists in Lusaka calling on government to find means of reducing their suffering. One of the motorists, Derek Mkandawire, says inasmuch as the excuse of the war between Russia and Ukraine is understood, the government should instead find a means of reducing the suffering of citizens. Another motorist, Matthews Ngolube, has equally pleaded with government to find means of questioning the suffering of citizens. However, the UPND alliance has expressed confidence that government has heard the cries of Zambians and is still working on addressing the situation.
The country on Thursday witnessed a third fuel increment. The price adjustment has seen petrol move from 21 kwacha 96 ngwe to 26 kwacha 50 ngwe, representing a variance of 4 kwacha 54 ngwe. Low sulfur diesel moved from 21 kwacha 54 ngwe to 26 kwacha 22 ngwe, representing a 4 kwacha 68 ngwe variance. And kerosene moved from 15 kwacha 39 ngwe to 19 kwacha 32 ngwe, representing a variance of 3 kwacha 93 ngwe. On the streets of Lusaka, some motorists have reacted to the price adjustment. Derek Mkandawire says the excuse of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine is not reasonable enough. Mr. Mkandawire says government should find solutions to people's suffering.
So kuti varorera tiopandi ikapoe nkondo no ikesa na imbi kabisa kai vantu valepusana china kushu so apa vya nkondo apa ifena vafumiepo bena vapange fe mbamana promise ava promisire yo that's why twali avavotera kwati ba findifile wako vana vasikuru hesi twamona vana vasikuru epo valesa mbili afuri nomba kwenda twalanda chani vyakula twala chamba ndonga pa unga valarunda so vena vapose kova mananga chakwati vaike possible subsidize kansi pakwata 3 findifiche paneko natushiwa na chupa nomba na vatu twafueko kabili nomba twala vashani.
Another motorist, Matthews Ngulube, has echoed similar sentiments.
So we do understand, but from the personal point of view, I do feel the effect of increment of fuel, and we just hope that the government can assist us in one way or the other. Being a new government, of course, we understand that they will need some more time, because we understand there are only 7 months in government, but we are pleading the government to come to and assist us in one way or the other. But otherwise, we are feeling the effect for real.
Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection Director Alex Muyebe says the increase of fuel will have a spillover effect on the cost of living.
We foresee that the prices of commodities will continue to rise, and that will continue also to have a spillover effect on the cost of living. And of course, the families are struggling to survive, and the situation will become even worse because as the prices of commodities increase, the levels of income have remained constant.
From the political front, the UPND Alliance has expressed hope that government is cognizant of the people's cry and is working on the situation.
And we have heard the cries of the people. And I'm sure the president is alive and aware to all the challenges that we are facing. And we are working. You can't expect that in 6 months you can resolve everything, especially when you talk about the economy. There are processes, there are issues that have to be reversed. We had a lot of corruption, we had a lot of dirty things that were happening. First is a cleanup. And like a train that has derailed, now we have to bring back the train on the rail.
For Muvi TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
Opposition Gordon Party of Zambia President Jackson Selavwe has accused the new Don administration of failing to provide a local response to the ever skyrocketing fuel prices in the country. Mr. Selavwe notes with sadness the upward revision of fuel pump prices by 5 kwacha, as announced by Energy Regulation Board (ERB), will further sentence more Zambians into poverty. He challenges President Hakainde Hichilema to quickly address the nation and announce a homegrown alternative interventions to stabilize the economy and markets in the short, medium and long term. He, however, suggests among the local interventions, President Hichilema and the new Don administration must give the people of Zambia more spending power to meet the high cost of living and reduce the cost of doing business for local businesses.
Want to say that there is something that can be done locally to make sure that we stabilize the economy as well as the business environment. We've seen presidents, including the President of the United States of America yesterday. he addressed the nation and put up measures to ensure that the US economy is stable. We've seen also other presidents and prime ministers in Europe also doing the same. I think the president should address the nation where he's going to put up local intervention measures to what is currently obtaining on the market. It is not enough to just say nothing can be done. There's always something that can be done. As a party, we've proposed before that can we increase spending power to the workers at household level so that people can be able to spend more and meet the high cost of living. We can do that. We can set up a committee of high-level management experts to look into these issues and make appropriate recommendations to the government. One of the things also the government can do is to review the cost of doing business in the country. I think it's abnormal that in the face of reduced production, by businesses, that we still maintain the very taxes that are prevalent when the economy is doing very well. So there is a lot that can be done by the government if they really listen to the people and what the people are saying. And I think it is not too late to call for an economic endeavor so that we can be able to make proposals, recommendations to the government so that they can be able to come up with a solid plan. So for us, the argument that nothing can be done is not appropriate. Our people are going to be pushed.
And drivers in Mansa district, Luapula province, have expressed worry at the recent upward adjustment of the fuel pump price. Jonathan Siamet describes the development as unfair.
Continued increase in fuel pump prices, which will trigger an increase in commodities as petrol has now reached 26 kwacha 15 ngwe, diesel 26 kwacha 22 ngwe, and kerosene 19 kwacha 32 ngwe, respectively. A check conducted by Muvi TV News immediately after the increase of fuel in Mansa district revealed that most drivers queued up at different filling stations to buy the last fuel at 21 kwacha. Mansa-based drivers have expressed their displeasure with the development.
Business yara tukosera komo kuchira efutwarebo so bafuira kuteko bwabo bakutwafaku barorekeshako kuri transportation abantu ngantumyesu ukona mwande baramba nokwenda na panshi so tatishwa kuteko fumara bakutwafwa.
For other drivers who move from one place to another have noted some of the challenges this will cause. I talked to Pali Chivanda, a businessman from Kasama, who explains the challenges they pass through due to continued fuel hikes.
Businessman because if from a businessman tuendama distance atali ukubika fuel no kwenda uko kwa mukupanga business kunchende kumbi so turachura sana mwebuteko.
With the continued instability in fuel pump prices, will the new Dawn government find a lasting solution soon or not? Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Mansa.
You are watching Muvi TV's primetime news. We take a break. Still to come is more news items. Do not go away.
They'll play a high press to force the mistakes.
They'll dominate the aerial ball. They too tall. We will handle the pressure and smash them on the break.
The number 9 has scored in their last 5 games.
The passing will be quick, decisive, precisely. There will be drama in the dying minutes. This match will mean more than 3 points.
They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet. Betway.
As COVID-19 cases keep rising, many business entities are affected and their revenue keeps going down. But together, we can fight COVID-19. Rumpi Enterprises provides you and your organization the safety you require in these hard times of the COVID-19 pandemic by using effective disinfectants procedures such as knockdown and residual disinfecting that helps prevent and get rid of COVID-19. We do knockdown and residual disinfecting procedures for homes, offices, hospitals, churches, and many more. Protect yourself and the people around you and get your business running with our powerful trusted disinfectants. Call Rumpi Enterprises on 0955 767835 or 0955 992230 or come to the 3rd floor, room 3.
Well, do you have kids that have what it takes to be part of the show? Do you have kids, little brothers, little sisters, little nephews, little cousins, or those children that you have at home who are willing to showcase their talent? Oh well, Muvi TV Studios will be doing it right here on the 2nd and 3rd of April from 14 to 16 hours, which is just an audition call. So if you have children who are aged 6 to 12 years old, please do bring them to the Muvi TV Studios on the 2nd and on the 3rd of April. Time is 14 to 16 hours. Well, I'll be waiting to come and hear those little bambinos sing, rap, and showcase their talents to me. Hey, let's do this. We'll see you.
He is no longer a member of the United Party for National Development UPND alliance, stating it would be a betrayal to the Zambian people. Their sharing of positions in government. However, during a press briefing Friday in a speech read on his behalf by Alliance spokesperson Daniel Shimunza, Mr. Msoni, who is reportedly in hospital, says the procedural differences are normal but can be managed within established structures. And Mr. Shimunza insists there are no cracks emerging in the alliance.
Of President Msoni's own statement.
Following the news of ditching the United Party for National Development UPND alliance, All People's Congress President Nelson Musoni has come out to dispel the assertions. In a letter to the UPND alliance members and the general public Friday morning, read on his behalf by alliance spokesperson Daniel Shimunza, Mr. Musoni says he is still a member of the pact.
It would be an act of betrayal to the Zambian people for me to decamp or leave the UPND alliance and abandon something that I was part and parcel of creating.
Perhaps in agreeing that there are unresolved issues in the alliance, Mr. Msoni says differences are normal and can be resolved within the structures.
In politics, it is normal to experience procedural differences, but these can be managed within the structures or political structures that we create in our political parties without unnecessary misunderstanding.
And Mr. Shimunza says the alliance is still intact, contrary to some assertions.
There is no official communication that has come from Zambia Must Prosper to the effect that they are not part of the alliance. There's been all kinds of assertions, speculations, and so forth. But from where we stand as the alliance partners, no such communication has come to us. So we cannot work on hearsay or social media speculations about those issues. As far as we are concerned, KBF and Zambia Must Prosper is still part of this alliance.
He says the working framework agreed upon before elections is still in place and a work in progress, and any issue that can arise can be resolved within the same. For Muvi TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
The government, through the Teaching Service Commission, is set to issue a recruitment advert for 30,000 teachers on Tuesday, 5th April 2022. Currently, there are about 60,864 registered unemployed teachers. Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima says the names and details of successful candidates are likely to be published on 4th May 2022. The recruitment is to be done via the Zambia Postal Services, ZAMPOST, to enhance transparency and accountability.
Through the Teaching Service Commission is set to issue a recruitment advert for 30,000 teachers on Tuesday, 5th April 2022. Currently, there are about 60,864 registered unemployed teachers, while the Ministry of Education has a total of 104,448 teachers countrywide on its payroll. Despite this, the education sector has a deficit of 115,066 teachers, a situation that has adversely affected the delivery of quality education. The current teacher-pupil ratio, especially in rural areas, stands at 1 teacher to 70 pupils against the desired 1 teacher to 40 pupils. The names and details of successful candidates are likely to be published on 4th May 2022. This is according to Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima.
The Teaching Service Commission will on Tuesday, 5th April 2022, issue an advertisement in both print and electronic media inviting applications for the recruitment of 30,000 teachers. The recruitment process has been decentralized to the district level in line with government policy on decentralization. In this regard, applicants will be required to apply to the district education board secretaries' offices in districts where they wish to be employed through the Zambia Postal Services Corporation, ZAMPOS. Upon the receipt of the application, ZAMPOS will send an SMS notification to the applicant as proof of receipt.
Treasury Authority of 1,994,817,600 kwacha has been approved for the 2022 recruitment of 30,000 teachers. Out of the 30,000 teachers, 1,500 will be senior secondary school teachers, 26,597 will be primary school class teachers and junior secondary school subject teachers, while 1,903 will be early childhood education teachers.
Providing quality and lifelong accessible, equitable and relevant education for all is at the heart of the New Dawn government. Education is an equalizer, hence the need to provide quality and equitable education.
The ministry is further expected to operationalize promotional positions such as 3 directors and 3 assistant director positions for primary education, secondary education and curriculum development, 129 positions for district education board secretaries and secondary school head teachers, 666 positions for deputy head teachers, heads of departments, senior lecturers and education standard officers, 1,689 positions for teachers who have obtained degrees, 129 positions for primary school teachers that have upgraded their qualifications from certificate to diploma level, and 7 positions for senior teachers.
The recruitment of 30,000 teachers will invariably create opportunities for all citizens of this country who are expected to reach their full potential, as earlier stated, in particular, the rural school-going children.
Mishek Kakungu, the interim chairperson for advocacy for One Teacher Union, says the recruitment process must be done in a transparent manner.
That is a welcome move and something that is long overdue. Looking at the need countrywide, we actually would wish to see that the thorough process is followed and things be done on merit so that everyone else could be happy. It will go actually a long way in alleviating to the need for the teacher-pupil ratio in all schools across Zambia.
Virginia Chilongo, Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
The Monza Town Council has set a target of eradicating street vending in the district by 30th April 2022 in a bid to level the playing field for all traders. These follows on an outcry by marketeers who stormed the council Wednesday morning, complaining of losing business to street vendors. Monza Town Council Chairperson Paul Mutenguna says that he met with both marketeers and vendors in the presence of the District Commissioner Mwanza Malambo to find a solution to the complaint. He says an agreement has been reached that all street vendors would relocate to the market by the 30th April 2022, where there will be allocated trading space. Mr. Mutenguna expresses hope the move will also improve revenue collection for the local authority as vendors do not pay levies. He has since cautioned the vendors to prepare to relocate, warning that the regulation would be enforced by the council police. But some vendors have not welcomed the move, saying business is slow in the markets and most of them are sponsoring their children in colleges.
Have moved away from the markets and they have come to the street. So they have come here to cry for help because according to what they are complaining about, they are saying those people that are selling in the markets, they are every day they are being taxed by the council officers. They pay 2 kwacha for selling on the stand, whilst those that are selling along the road, actually they are not taxed anything, and those are the people that are selling, because people have stopped going to the markets at the moment. They just end up buying on the streets. Very quickly I convened a meeting. I even invited the district commissioner to accompany me to address them. And we invited everyone, those that are selling along the streets and those that are selling in the market. We had a very fruitful meeting whereby we agreed that street vending is still an illegality. And we explained it to people and they have understood that what they are doing, those that are selling along the road, is illegal. And then they made the request that through the market chairperson, the process should be secured for them. That only 1st May will not allow anyone. We are going to involve our council policy here, and if it will need help, we even engage Zambia police.
We are with GPL only, but there are 7,500 after 6 months. So we na mala okindi kwa hakwa jana. Uti bandibika kunze kulina business. So na mendiromba kuti abatubike aere deputwerero tikatujana hi atugaenda business.
Na jenda mpe. Oronditangike nyina baula. These are the whole day urasambara byote ni kwacha pona amana nditera bia. Uyamu kusambara wewe amu kusambara. ndabora kusambala
uli kusambala mu market chakatupa kunyamuna kuti tunyamuke tuwole bulodi kuno mapenzi kitwakapona valo kuti chochi vapa kuti kavakhalirira kuti vabona kapo tutakoye kuti koda chinthu pamana kosowa ulikete koda chinthu kosowa nendi mupati valamba nini vakandikoya valo kukhala nende mupati ndakataika kutuka kadishi unjira mu town kutenga ndibone mapenzi vana vangu ndivakutule nzara imane jane mali muloti.
That north, see you shortly.
Istana ya Afrika ya kupende chalo akamwana kanono no msepela kuikala chapamo kuribe kumunzi kuribe mutauni kumatero aliyenze afunika.
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
Fairview University College is enrolling students for the January-April 2022 intake in the following: School of Education, Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Education in Primary Education, Bachelor of Education in Secondary Education, Bachelor of Education in Special Education, Diploma in Early Childhood Education, Diploma in Primary Education, Diploma in Secondary Education, Diploma in Special Education, Certificate in Early Childhood Education, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Diploma in Public Relations, School of Hotel and Tourism, Diploma in Food and Production, Diploma in Front Office, Diploma in Food and Beverages Management, Diploma in Hospitality and Events Management, and Diploma in Sales and Marketing. For more information, visit us at Regent College along Kwazi Road or the North Mid Campus at plot number 11 Luamba Road, Lusaka, or call us on 0955 787114 or 0966 787114 or 0977 787114. Fairview University College. We aim at excellence.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Trial has continued in the Mansa Magistrate Court in a case where United Party for National Development UPND Luapula Province Coordinator George Nsonga is alleged to have willfully and unlawfully had carnal knowledge of a minor. Testifying before the court, a 36-year-old Dr. Brighton Mutapata, a senior doctor and gynecologist at Mansa General Hospital, reviews that during his examination of the juvenile on 11th March 2022, the position of a vagina indicated that there was a penetration. Dr. Mutapata testified that during his physical examination of the victim, there was a torn hymen, which he told the court that the hymen does not get broken anyhow unless there is a penetration. Magistrate Moses Mlenga has since set 29th April 2022 as date for mention and 17th May 2022 for ruling. Particulars of the offence are that on 9th March 2022 in Mansa District, Mr. Nsonga is alleged to have willfully and unlawfully had carnal knowledge of a minor. The new Zambia Revenue Authority ZRA board has elected former Bank of Zambia Governor Dr. Caleb Fundanga as a board chairperson. The board at its first sitting also elected Ms. Nana Musanda Mudenda, Law Association of Zambia representative, as vice chairperson. The government appointed the new board for the Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, on 14th March 2022. The previous board was dissolved on 6 December 2021. The other board members are Valerie Nambeye, Grace Likando, Venus Hampinda, Alan Urenda, Dr. Denny Kalyalia, Mutinta Pensulo, and Willis Chipango. In a congratulatory message, the new ZRA chairperson and his vice, the Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, maintained the need to develop remedial strategies to address the low compliance levels across several tax types. He has asked the board to strengthen the measures being administered by ZRA in domestic resource mobilization through enhanced usage of electronic platforms and increased compliance surveillance to curb smuggling and tax-related fraud. He has restated the government's resolve that fiscal sustainability through enhanced revenue collections is restored over and above the expenditure rationalization measures that are already being implemented. The Mazabuka Magistrate Court has sentenced United Party for National Development UPND Quartet to 7 years for malicious damage. These are District Acting Youth Chairperson Bright Hamwenda, Mwashi Sichongo, Steady Mwinga, and Mayambo Hamakala. The four are in this case jointly charged for maliciously damaging property of Club Lilav worth over 37,000 kwacha. They are accused of damaging a plasma TV, 3 chairs, 3 tables, and 1 speaker at the Mazabuka joint. Vice President Mutalina Lumango has disclosed the auditing of Zambia's forest is almost complete, and government will soon start issuing licenses for timber exports. Mrs. Nalamango has, however, disclosed the licenses for export of the Mukula tree will not be issued, as a lot remains to be done, adding that government is also in the process of introducing an act that will result in harmonizing the sector. Meanwhile, Mrs. Nalamango has advised the general public to venture into growing timber for commercial purposes if the outcry, such as the allocation of contracts for the supply of electricity poles to foreigners by ZESCO Limited, are to be avoided. Speaking during the Vice President's question time in National Assembly Friday morning, Mrs. Nalamango said Zambians should take advantage of the fact that this is green revolution where they can generate income.
Of the business in forestry products, timber in particular. I think what was suspended was more of the issuance of licenses to deal in timber, particularly the Mukula. That is another issue Mukula will be dealt with. But there was a lot of illegality in the forestry or timber issues. And a lot of work has gone in by government. They have been doing audit, like you do recognize. I should believe that it's a concern of all of us, because that was a means of livelihood for some people, not just Northwestern. There are also other areas of Zambia where we are endowed with a lot of trees that culminate into timber. At the end of the audit, which is almost done, it is our belief that there will be lifting of, in fact, there was no suspension. There will be issuance of licenses so that people can participate. For Mukula, we still have a bit of work to do. But we also, I want to say this in the forestry industry, that we are working on harmonizing the act so that we can do a good job. There is a lot, like you have noticed, Honorable Member, people can live on this. But let me use this time, Madam Speaker, to also encourage people to go into timber in terms of maybe forestry, in terms of planting trees. We are in the green revolution. It's important that through this August House, let me encourage all of us to go back and encourage people to plant trees.
Some villagers of Softkaunda village in Chibongoma community in Chief Chisuka's chiefdom in Lapula province has opted to open a peat mine in flat stones. They claim they engaged in mining of the flat stone to sustain their livelihood and bemoan the lack of market. This came to light when a team of Care for Nature Zambia, led by Organization Executive Director Nsama Musonda, toured Musonda Falls community to appreciate the significance of the Luongo River, which is used to produce hydroelectricity. Ms. Musonda says that despite the environment and safety hazards, women got to site with children. She has described the site as terrifying. Ms. Musonda stresses the need to address the numerous issues surrounding mining in the province so that viable industries that will contribute to national revenue and development can be established.
Ukufuma kukabungwe ka Care for Nature Zambia tuli kuno kumusonda Falls mupepi na musonda eko twachisa mkumono kusungirira umumana wa Luongo kantu yuino umumana eoba bomfya ukupanga malaiti kuno kumansa uya na ku national grid era panchita imo ine mupepi kulina abantu abemba mabwe ifo tuleito kwebati development minerals so natwisa pano panchendo kumona bushema afyanshi nangoma opportunities nshibakwete pakwe batwamo nefyo iyi company twinga itwala pantanshi abantu nabo bambo kuchita benefits mufile na lesa ifya umchende yabo
na ine shina yandini netisha rupeti kaunda goveni na kwata fyo kutotera pafyo wakumanya ishu kweli kunubale wae mumo waisa na ndalira kuno mutira mwinga tueswila kwenchila pali fifi ndifo tubombala fiena bantu alibanga bantu ababulisha market echo twakabiro kwe bati kunga tupela ko tumaka nkoshosha kutira twatokula moena mona ifuaka ko bati twayako pantanshi ngokututungirira ngabana bako bati bana bachalo filiafine pamilimo yesu yo tulebomba ishuko sale twakwatanga chako bati mwatutungirira nga mufyo mule tulondolwera mwebene ba milimo ei
na yandini nebo chirufia future ifo tumbaya maboya mafati stone nomba tulelomba fyo kwebati nga bantu batu afurisha ko twakwata ko business ya maboya tudeshitisha ko ukuchira ifiyega da pantu yega dafi so tulelomba kutinga mwe bali ko kuntanshi mwatwaila ko business ya kuti tudeshitisha ifintu tumba nabana kashina bali pone napuisha mkoa
Loveness malama na totera sana po kumanyiri juko twalichula sana mayo kuchula pakuti tukwati orupia nomba tatulumo na orupia imbire sa kuti atu afira mulimo obene pakwe bati na ifwe twakwata kulesa atu afa mukuchula tuchula twalichula na bana kashikumu pakwe bati tumonye orupia kaita twasambirira nomba twalaiki tacha na longa twaikala fye twalaka twakubuteka kana twapireni.
A break. We still have more news items coming up shortly your way. Stay tuned.
Istana ya Afrika ya kupende chalo akamwana kanono nomsepela kuikala chapamo kuribe kumunzi kuribe mutauni kumatero aliyenze afunika.
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
Hello everybody. So many years ago it went like this. Kafawandi Teti mufilwe Kafawandi Teti mufilwe. I know that is a very, very loud bell. Yes, Muvi TV is back with the Kids Third Show right here on your channel of choice. Oh well, do you have kids that have what it takes to be part of the show? Do you have kids, little brothers, little sisters, little nephews, little cousins, or those children that you have at home who are willing to showcase their talent? Oh well, Muvi TV Studios will be doing it right here on the 2nd and 3rd of April from 14 to 16 hours, which is just an audition call. So if you have children who are aged 6 to 12 years old, please do bring them to the Muvi TV Studios on the 2nd and on the 3rd of April. Time is 14 to 16 hours. Well, I'll be waiting to come and hear those little bambinos sing, rap, and showcase their talents to me. Hey, let's do this. We'll see you.
Welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Choma District has received about 4.8 million kwacha for vulnerable beneficiaries under the Social Cash Program. Ministry of Community Development and Social Services has also scaled up the number of beneficiaries under the program from 5,721 to 9,243 for the district. District Social Welfare Officer Kazembe Ziambo announced this during the flag-off of payment of funds to social cash transfer beneficiaries, who include the severely disabled, chronically ill, the aged above 65 and female, as well as child-headed households. Mrs. Ziambo has further revealed that bi-monthly payments for beneficiaries have also been increased from 600 kwacha for the disabled to 800 kwacha and 300 kwacha for the able-bodied to 400 kwacha. And speaking when he flagged off the payment, the Choma District Commissioner Sikalea Gamela has urged the beneficiaries to use the money prudently in order to eliminate extreme poverty and hunger at household level. He notes it is important for beneficiaries to come up with sustainable means of utilizing the funds as payments are bi-monthly. Meanwhile, the beneficiaries have thanked the government for increasing the amounts. Chief Hamsonde of the Tonga-speaking people of Wengwa Southern Province has thanked a non-government organization People Action Forum, PAF, for the continued support of people in his chiefdom, especially those who were evacuated from the fishing camps during the rainy season. PAC is a non-government organization which supports vulnerable people in various communities. Speaking during the handoff of 200 blankets at one of the fishing camps in Wengwa, the traditional leader extols for the gesture, and organization program officer genuinely pledged commitment to continue alleviating the suffering of the people in various communities.
I have nothing to give you, but to put you in the hands of my Lord. You officers in charge of these things, see to it that these things don't go to waste. These blankets must be shared evenly. Nobody should complain that she or he has not received a blanket. They are enough for almost everyone. So please take charge that, everyone is happy, as I am happy. The government under the leadership, His Excellency, again has accepted these things, and they must know. I will make the government know through the DC that the President and his people should know that PAF has donated something to the people who were almost drowned and have been evacuated.
He has already mentioned, in the same way that you have recognized the people that are with us here that were affected with the flood, may God Himself recognize the hand that has helped us also.
Livingston District Commissioner Eunice Nawa says a time has come to look at positive contributions people with disabilities can bring to the country. In a speech read on her behalf by Lunga Lumpa at the Together for Inclusion exhibition organized by Response Network, Mrs. Nawa notes for a long time, people with disabilities have been relegated to being individuals with no potential to do economic activities, which is not the case. And Response Network Country Director Matengenya Mutokwa says that children living with disabilities need to be included in all daily activities. Mr. Mutokwa says the importance of this event was to give exposure to persons living with disabilities and give them a platform to showcase their merchandise.
Living with disabilities have proved that disability is not inability. It is for this reason that Response Network held an expo for persons living with disabilities in Livingston to help in showcasing their different merchandise. Mutukwa Matengenya, who is country director for the network, says the initiative is to help persons living with disabilities and to bring the Together for Inclusion to reality. He indicated that the organization is pleased to note government's efforts in promoting the Together for Inclusion by including them in government issues.
This expo is meant to showcase what persons with disabilities are able to do within their disability. So we look for more engagement with government and other stakeholders. We also want to acknowledge the efforts of government in promoting persons with disabilities by appointing one of the persons with disabilities to the Human Rights Commission. As advocates for inclusive development, we are extremely overwhelmed and we are looking for more efforts from government to continue promoting and enriching the lives of persons with disabilities.
As you can see in the display, they have different types of products that they've come to expose, and we are expecting and anticipating that with this exposure, in the near future, the government will look into the issue of marketing.
To wrap up the news on that note, a recap of the top stories. Self-confessed thieves of fuel process, PF demands a Bali justifies 11 kwacha increment. Bowman Lusambo describes the justifications on fuel price hike by Newdon as nonsensical. Teachers get ready, government unveils the roadmap for the recruitment of teachers. Medical expert testifies in UPND's official defilement case. Thank you so much for watching the news. Continue enjoying the rest of our programming.